So how do you evaluate a website? A great way to do so is using the C.R.A.P test. C.R.A.P is an easy to remember acronym for an evaluation process for information resources. C.R.A.P stands for currency, reliability, authority, and purpose. So let's take a look at some of the ways you can use this test to critically evaluate websites. Currency means the date the article or website was written. On many websites, this can be found in the same area as the name of the author. To check to see if an older website has been updated recently, go to the footer of the website and check the date or range of dates near the copyright announcement. If the website is no longer being updated, the last updated on date will be at least a year ago. The publication date may also appear in the URL for the website itself. The R in C.R.A.P stands for reliability. In other words, what is the kind of information on the website? Search for key phrases like, in my opinion, or I think, which can indicate an opinion piece, or charts and graphs with supporting information to suggest a more in-depth researched article. It's a good idea to check the sources of charts. If there are no sources, this can be an indicator that the website is less than reliable. In general, a list of references also goes a long way in establishing reliability. The A in C.R.A.P stands for authority. Who created the website? Do you recognize the website? For instance, WashingtonPost.com. Often, if the website is reliable, it will have the title of the website as the main part of the URL. Also check out how the URL ends. .gov are government websites, and .edu are higher education websites. .org is for nonprofits, and .com and .net are often commercial. Generally speaking, .gov and .edu websites are usually reliable, while the others warrant a bit more scrutiny. The author of the website is another important aspect of authority. Try to find a short biography or other information about the author's credentials. This can often be found near the author's name or by selecting the author's name as a link or at the bottom of the page. And finally, P stands for purpose. In other words, why does the website exist? Any website with a lot of ads or where you have to click next over and over again to get more information has, as part of its purpose, generating advertising revenue. Lots of advertisements does not mean a completely unreliable resource, but it does bear keeping in mind. If a website is trying to get you to buy a product or sign in to get more information, then this is also part of its purpose, and it may be a signal that the information on the initial page may be a little less reliable. This is a really important step in any evaluation. Okay, so let's apply the C.R.A.P test to some different websites about performance-enhancing drugs in sports. Here is drugfreesport.com. Is it current? The copyright date in the footer is 2018, so yes. And the testimonials on the homepage do suggest some reliability. So let's find some of its information resources. The tab entitled Education probably has some of those. Hovering over this tab creates a drop-down menu, and Webinars seems promising. Viewing one of these should allow us to evaluate this website's specific resources. Oh no, as soon as we selected the link for a webinar, it asked us to register, and then sign in. Aha, requiring a sign-in reveals the purpose of the website. It's more about services for pay than academic research. Let's check another resource, a timeline from SportsIllustrated.com. Sports Illustrated is a widely read popular magazine, and this timeline has a bunch of useful facts around doping. However, it's not current. The date of publication is March 11, 2008. And while it certainly has interesting information, there are no links or references, so it's not clear if this is reliable. Its purpose is to report on the history of doping. The ads do not detract from that in this case, but it is hard to make sure the information is correct without those references. Now what about this website? Steroids and Other Appearance and Performance-Enhancing Drugs from the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Let's go through the C.R.A.P test one more time. This page shows it was last updated in February 2018. Okay, so fairly current. Now, let's think about reliability and authority, concepts our other websites struggled with. This is a .gov website, and the National Institute on Drug Abuse is certainly a reputable organization. The website is quite extensive and purports to simplify the science of research findings for public education. It has none of the triggers like, I think, or in my opinion, but does have extensive references. Again, both reliability and authority seem fairly strong here. Finally, what is the purpose of the website? It is to report on research findings of national interest, and there are really almost no advertisements. It is clearly a government website dedicated to information dissemination, rather than a commercial one dedicated to advertising or other forms of revenue. Alright, so that is what the C.R.A.P test is and how to apply it to websites. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask a librarian.